Today my guest is Eldar Ismayilov, Doctor of Historical Sciences at Baku State University. It is 28th of April today. 91 years ago, on April 28, Russian army invaded Azerbaijan. What has Azerbaijan learned from those days? There's a need to give a more objective and real assessment to this issue. In fact, it was an invasion. There's no doubt. From the army of another state occupied Azerbaijan's territory. Early, it was only planned to invade Baku, but it extended later. The lesson is that we must be ready for everything in the life. No doubt, the existence of such a powerful and big state in our neighborhood has always contained threat to our country, which is a small country. I don't mean that Russia or other states can now invade Azerbaijan, but smaller countries always have to ensure their self-defense. The Georgian-Russian war proved that Russia does not refrain from invading another state. The territory of Georgia has been recognized. However, Russian troops had moved very close to the capital, Tbilisi. Undoubtedly, there was a threat for Georgia. But look, it's not that period. In 1920s, Russia was regarded by many states as a big, powerful, mature state. The unity of Russia was recognized by big states. True, we say that Azerbaijan was recognized by Entente at that time, but we must consider that it was not a state, but was a temporary international institution. At present, Azerbaijan is recognized by all the international community. It is true that Russia wanted to give a lesson to Georgia at that time, but anyway, it didn't dare to go to the very end. At the time, it could easily occupy Georgia, but because of the international community, Russia failed to fulfill its plans. And what about the ideological lessons of Russian invasion? Because a great territory was endowed with the Leninism ideology. What did Azerbaijan get from Leninism ideology? It's a very complicated issue. Sometimes in the Soviet period, we campaigned for this ideology as well. Why do we need to hide it? We were thinking that the Soviet regime gave a lot to the nations, including Azerbaijan. Some facts cannot be denied. There was a great social and economic development. Especially, there was progress in cultural affairs. But in the composition of Russia, Azerbaijan lagged much behind the leading countries. This is a fact as well. Russian invasion resulted in the fall of Azerbaijan Democratic Republic. It was a democratic republic. Its parliament consisted of multiple parties. Its political system was formed in electoral way. And upon the fall of such a democratic state, what were the negative influences of socialism, Leninism on Azerbaijani statehood? Let's look at 1920. How did the people approach the foreign troops? We call it invasion. We describe it as invasion, but there was no immediate resistance to the invasion. Why? Why there was no resistance? In Georgia, though little, there was a resistance. It took 2 weeks for Russian army to invade Georgia. But in Azerbaijan, the army didn't resist until the end of May. Why? Because the Azerbaijani population was unaware of what was happening in Russia. Until the fall of Azerbaijan Democratic Republic, the Azerbaijan population had never faced hunger. Lots of Russians were coming to Azerbaijan because there was a lot of food in Azerbaijan, but the population failed to assess it properly. I have been familiarized with the spring and summer attack plans of the chief headquarters of Azerbaijan army. The army was tasked with a goal to move throughout Baku-Ganja railroad and reach Azerbaijan's historical borders in Goycha and Borchela regions. How the Russian invasion changed the political map in the Caucasus? I am familiarized with those documents too. The plans were different. The previous plan of Russia didn't include the invasion of Armenia and overthrow of Dashnak government. It was planned that the army should not pass Karabakh. They were intending to have some territory under control, but it didn't imply to unite these areas with Azerbaijan. There was no shared position of Bolsheviks. Have the socialist ideology views disappeared from the ideology of today's people? You know, I don't know what we mean by communist ideology. I mean a society lacking free elections, lacking respect for human rights, society fighting the people and keeping them in fear. I must say that communist ideology has not been removed from the minds of the people. Thank you for coming to our studio. My guest was today the Doctor of Historical Sciences at Baku State University, Eldar Ismayilov.